In this video, I'm going to analyze what very well could be FNS's last ever game at the Tier 1 level, but I'm also going to tell you guys some insider information about the whole Verno NRG situation. But first, let's talk about FNS. Obviously a legend of the game. He was, in my opinion, when he was on Optic, the best IGL in kind of early Valorant at understanding the game. Now, don't get me wrong, his aim was never a strong suit even back then, but now, especially with IGLs being expected to be able to shoot their gun at a somewhat competent level, he just can't. I'm sorry, I don't mean this to be mean, I don't mean this to be rude, but he is unable to shoot his gun. I would be shocked if he could, go positive in any map, any series. Literally at all, it is flabbergasting if he went to 1v1. That's not good. But what's even worse, you could possibly overlook that. After all, Mata and Som are both very, very, very cracked aimers. But with the new meta, he hasn't really understood how to play against it. Now, his attack side calling has always been a problem, most notably with them getting 1.5 attack rounds on Haven throughout Split 1. That's correct. They averaged 1.5 attack rounds on Haven, but with the new Breach Teo meta, they have not adapted well at all. So let's go ahead and take a look here at what could be FNS's last ever game before retirement, and I'll let you know about the Verno information in a second. But first, I'm 90 subs away from 6K, so go ahead, subscribe, comment Lionzblade because I'm not uploading daily, and let's get into it. On the bonus round here, Mata is about to get super aggressive. He just walks up. This is a cam placed by Boostio here, but he disrespects it completely. Just walks up here to try and get a nice flank timing over here as 100 Thieves try and explore the map. They look a little bit into garage, don't like what they see, get salvoed out, and then again, Mata going to jump this trip. Boosty doesn't hear him, but Xander, rechecking flank, gets that kill, which immediately causes the pivot to A. Obviously, 9 times out of 10, if someone is pushing aggressively from a site, you get that kill, you're going to go there, and they do. Just going over toward the A bomb site. There are trips here, as well as Brock. He's able to get his, and he's able to almost kill Boostio, unable to fully finish it out, but after all the fighting kind of stops, it's a 3v3. Then Ethan, though, 1-2, tries to get another gun off the floor, can't, and EU gets the kill onto FNS. Now, I know that you might think that I'm exaggerating when I say that FNS is not respected for aim, but this is very true even within the pro community. For example, during the Lev game, there was a comm that said, which was, oh, it's Pujan, just swing him. Pujan being FNS's name. There is no respect there. But let me tell you really quickly about the Verno situation. First off, all of this is alleged. I don't think NRG would sue me, but I don't want to take my chances. So all of this is alleged. But allegedly, Bonkar, the original coach of NRG, the guy before Mike's, was going to kick FNS. He didn't agree with how he viewed the game, and he thought he was kind of past his time, let's say, and he was going to put the old man out to pasture. However, 2 players, assumed to be Som and Ethan, both said, we will quit if FNS is kicked. We are not playing if FNS is kicked. Then, management said, okay, and Verno and Bonkar were then benched. Verno agreed with Bonkar's decision right there, and Mata was apparently neutral on the whole thing, which I find pretty funny. But allegedly, that is what happened. Again, keep in mind, all of this is alleged, but that might provide a bit of context as to why Bonkar is currently on their bench, and they kicked Verno for Brock, who has looked decent in the past 2 games, but let's be honest, is a pretty clear downgrade. Now, I'm not even going to cover NRG's defense. In fact, they did very well in it. They went 8-4, and it looked like we would get a map 3. But the issue is attack, and it always has been attack. For some reason, NRG picked Haven when their only other game on it, they didn't win a single attack round, going 13-6 on it against MIBR. But Asuna pushes up here, forcing out the trip from FNS and the immediate pivot from NRG into mid. Now, they decide not to go here for some reason, but what they do is they leave Mata inserted, and this is what started the kind of, in my opinion, lazy narrative that Aspas is a baiter. Some teams decide to get their duelist inserted in certain places, kind of like a lurker, but also, yes, pretty much a lurker. They allow them to do that, and then the narrative starts, oh, they're a baiter, they're a baiter. I believe it was one of Brenner's Sideshow, let me know who in the comments, who said Aspas was a baiter for that. It just is, in my opinion, not true. Love both of them. Best casting duo, second to Pansy and Mimi. but just it's not a good narrative to have because that's just not what it is. Anyways, NRG are going to try and execute over towards the A site with Mata inserted out here on B, trying to get a good lurk timing. As you can see, Boostio's trips are C. There's not a trip right here, so he should be able to get something going. Then NRG decide to execute. Now, Asuna just feels uncomfortable with all this utility on the site, forced to kind of put his wall up and just try and live somehow. As you can see here, able to get one. Sam, though, very quick with the trades, and Mata at this point can't really do anything. Even if he hadn't have died to cryo there in spawn, there were 10 seconds left, right? I don't think he's doing anything. Brock tries to save, but Asuna is always pushing, no matter if 100 Thieves are at a man advantage, disadvantage, or even numbers, he will push. If someone can find that copy pasta and comment it, I'll give you a comment, a little heart, by the way, because I think it's funny as fuck, if you know what I'm talking about. Now, NRG have lost the past 4 rounds in a row, and they're going to do something that's kind of odd here. I don't really get why they end up doing it, how they do it. So Mata goes ahead, goes up into garage, which there are no trips, there's no nothing, no cam, no person in there. So Mata goes garage. Now Ethan is going to hold this garage smoke. As you can see on the minimap, he is holding right here. He's holding this garage smoke. For some reason, the entire rest of the team is back here, I guess anticipating some sort of push, either from the ISO, there was an ISO vulnerable thrown off rip, or right here from the Neon, even though this was tripped off. Well, Mata dies, and then the immediate pivot is, okay, we know that they're C, let's go away, which obviously makes sense. It's very good that FNS decided to trip here as well as here, both extremities, as he also gets a refrag. Hell just froze over, because otherwise Asuna is pushing into their spawn by now, to be quite honest with you. Again, he will push pretty much everything that he has the opportunity to. But now it's going to be all onto Boostio as they pivot towards A. As you can see, Asuna still holding that space over towards C. 100 Thieves don't really know where because Boostio isn't seeing anything with this cam. It's a pretty passive cam in terms of getting you information. You'll only see them once they're onto the site. You don't have any other info. However, once they start the execute with Boostio up heaven, these cages and stuff are popped. There's no one on site. Obviously, NRG don't know that, but there's no one on site for those cages. Boostio ends up dying heaven to Brock, but Xander, again, look at what we've missed, right? This entire time, Xander, with his ultimate online, decided to ult. He ulted past the trip. I missed it the first watch on my co-stream. I co-stream obviously America's games, but right there, he literally wins the round with this hyper aggressive TP. Again, FNS gets 2, great job, but Xander just shuts down the execute completely and ends the round. Again, FNS, he has gotten 2 this round, but he is still FNS, so he's not going to be able to win this one out. Again, great play by Xander, TPing past the trip. They had no idea, and it won them a round. Now, NRG win the next round, but what I wanted to focus on here is the fact that Asuna apparently has a taser like strapped to his nuts, that if he's not pushing every 5 seconds and throwing his mouse like across his fucking mouse pad, it goes off and it shocks him in the balls, because there is no universe. I want you guys to like truly look and try and comprehend how in the world you get this kill right here from Asuna. Anyways, 9-9 NRG win their first attack run on Haven in the entirety of stage 1. Their map pick, by the way. NRG go up 10-9 and force 100 Thieves onto an eco. Yippee! Every FNS and NRG fan exclaim with joy, happiness. Yippee! FNS is going to lead us to victory. Anyways, let me go put on my COVID mask because I live in 2023. Because that is not what happened. It is definitely what should have happened. Only one rifle here, but FNS trying to take an aggressive timing there. I don't really know why, to be quite honest, but he had the read. Going A here would be great. Just completely destroy Asuna. I mean, at that point, I would expect EU to kind of save the rifle, right? There's one guy with a sheriff on site. Go to site, absolutely. EU probably saves the rifle. I don't even know if they would attempt this and try and get the ults online for NRG if they did die, but they don't end up going A here. But the great thing about that is 100 Thieves just start to rotate as NRG start to leave. They're going to go up here towards mid. But keep in mind, Boostio and Xander have been staying here pretty much the entire time. They have not left this C area. So Brock's drone goes ahead, clears it out. They now know, okay, this site is clear. We're good. We can plant. It may be a 5v4. Ethan may be super low. However, we still are going to most likely win this round. And then Xander gets a smoke spam onto Mata and all hell breaks loose. Asuna always going to push there, gets the 1, Cryo goes 1 for 1, some counter spam, but it's not enough because EU, my goat, crouch sprays, gets the 2 to Thrifty NRG here, and honestly, I think this is the round that won the game for them. But even after all of that, NRG managed to win a round, now only 2 away from match point and winning this game, going to Icebox for the decider. The issue is that they cannot make a decision. For example, right now, A ends up being completely open. Only Austin on the site. He has a classic. Yes, he has Neon ult. And that's the only reason I could think of that they're scared of this, is that Neon ult is online. As you can see, as soon as he jiggles that, they go ahead, back away, not wanting to go into the Neon ult, which honestly I understand. Neon is a dumb character. So they back off, pull the rotations over, and then they get a kill onto Boostio mid. Great, they're able to get that kill onto a mid and go C. But Xander, he's heard all the shit that people have been talking, how he doesn't go positive, how Bang was so much better, all of this. And he really turned up not only here, but for this series. Mata is stranded alone on site, dies, and then Xander just kills literally everyone else coming out of the smoke. I mean, that's kind of a phantom moment, but also just some great spray control there to make it 11-11. Boostio stands up before quickly sitting down, and it is now tied up right here. NRG call a timeout before this. It's match point. FNS, a historic IGL. Think of the time on Optic. Think of the rivalry versus Loud. Think of everything he was able to achieve. How does the last round, potentially, of his pro career go? He pushes sewers and dies to Cryo while suppressed. Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's the face of a man. If you want to rewind that, that is just done, and he knows he's done, to be quite honest. Team executes onto B site, and there's a bit of hope for approximately like a couple seconds until Ethan breach ults Cryo, who is already low, and they're not able to get anything off of it. He just pops his shield and then goes, okay, I'll 1v1 someone. If you could win the 1v1 against Cryo, maybe there's a chance, like possibly, but to be quite honest, it just isn't going to happen after Brock dies here. And again, Sam, he's low, but he's trying. You can tell everyone on this team was trying so hard. That's one thing I'll say. You can never say these guys aren't trying. You can see it in their face, especially Mata here, who, by the way, went on like an around the world lurk over here to get this timing. Good stuff by him, but around the world lurk isn't enough. You can see Ethan's face, and you can see it in Mata's face, that they just really, really wanted this. Final thoughts on it. I don't know if FNS will retire. Obviously, it's up to him. I hope he doesn't, honestly. I hope him and Sam at least stick around for a little bit longer, but watch one of these 2 videos if you like my content. Make sure to subscribe to Game 6K, and I'll see you next time. Peace.